back, students, to the final part of our explanation video on chapter 1, real numbers. In our previous explanation video, we went through the concept of rational number and irrational number, the plain definition of rational number and irrational number. We also went through the process of proving a particular number, rational number. That we saw that how we can use the method of assumption and contradiction to prove any particular number, a rational number. In this video, in this section, explanation video, we will be understanding how to identify the type of the rational number. Now you all in class 9 have went through the fact that there are two types of rational numbers, that is depending upon the decimal expansion. If the decimal expansion is terminating, or if the decimal expansion is non-terminating but recurring, then we say that that decimal expansion, that number as a rational number. So in this explanation video, we will be going through to how to identify, just not by dividing it, just by not plain division, how to identify whether the given number has terminating decimal expansion or non-terminating recurring decimal expansion. So any rational number we will be taking and identifying just with what kind of decimal expansion it has, whether it is terminating or whether it is non-terminating but recurring. There is no question about non-terminating and non-recurring, because if a number has a decimal expansion of non-terminating and non-recurring, it cannot be a rational number. So definitely rational number is of two types. It has two types of expansion. One, terminating, that means it will end at certain point of time, and the other, it's non-terminating, that means it will not end but repeating, that means it will not end but the digits will go on repeating. So these are the two different, basically two different decimal expansion of rational numbers. So students, this is our main topic which we are going to discuss in this explanation video. Along with this, we will be solving some questions of the last exercise of your chapter, exercise 1.4. So students, before proceeding ahead, we have to understand the three different theorems of this chapter, of this section. The first theorem states that if we have a if x, suppose if we take any variable, suppose x is a rational number, and that rational number has a decimal expansion of terminating. Okay, if x is a rational number and that rational number has a decimal expansion of terminating, then that rational number can be expressed. Then that rational number can be expressed in the form of p by q, where the p and q are co-prime numbers, and the prime factorization of q will be the form of 2 to the power n into 5 to the power m. That means x is a rational number. That means if x is a rational number, it can be written as p by q form, where q is not equals to 0 and HCF of p and q is 1. That means p and q are co-prime, and the decimal expansion of q, prime factorization of q is of this form. So students, if the prime factorization of the denominator is of the form 2 to the power n into 5 to the power m, then we can say that x equals to pq has a terminating decimal expansion. So this is the first theorem which states. The next theorem is of this section only. The next theorem states just converse of this. That is, if x is a rational number, which can be expressed as p by q form, where q not equals to 0 and p and q are both co-prime numbers, then q can be expressed as the prime factorization of the same 2 to the power n into 5 to the power m. Here I said that if q has a terminating decimal expansion, then it can be expressed as that. But in the converse, I'm saying that if q is expressed in this form, that is 2 to the power n and 5 to the power m, then it has a terminating decimal expansion. Just both are converse to each other, vice versa of each other, which you are understanding it. So students, what do you mean by this statement that q equal to 2 to the power n and 5 to the power m? Here 2 to the power n into 5 to the power m means both 2, it has only two factors. Those are 2 and 5. And what are n and m? N and m, this is also very important. N and m are non-negative integers. Non-negative integers. Now students, one thing I should very clearly say to you, don't mix this non-negative integers with positive integers. If you are thinking like, why I am saying non-negative, I could have said here positive integer, then it's wrong, because positive integer doesn't include 0 and the non-negative integer includes 0. So n and m are not positive integers but non-negative. Why non-negative? Because n and m can be 0. So better we say n and m as a non-negative integer instead of positive integer. So basically there are two main theorems here, that is, if you can express the rational number x equals to p by q, where q has a prime factorization of this form 2 to the power n and into 5 to the power m, and that means that the denominator doesn't have any other factor other than 2 and 5, then and only then we can say that that rational number has a terminating decimal expansion. That means that rational number, if on dividing, will have a decimal expansion which will end at a certain point of time. But if I cannot express q in the form of 2 to the power n and into 5 to the power n, or if I can express along with other factors like 3 or 7, then we come to the conclusion that yes, this is a rational number, no doubt about that, but this decimal number doesn't have terminating decimal expansion. It would definitely then have non-terminating recurring decimal expansion, because in your previous class you have saw that non-terminating decimal expansion and non-terminating recurring decimal expansion. That means recurring means the digits, the decimal expansion is not ending at a point, but its few of the digits are repeating again and again. Then that decimal expansion is also the decimal expansion of a rational, can be decimal expansion of a rational number. So if we cannot express it in this form, it will be a rational number with decimal expansion as non-terminating and recurring. So this was the main logic. And there is one more theorem, but it's quite similar to this, that if x is a rational number which is expressed as p by q, where q not equals to 0, and the HCF of p and q is 1, and if q cannot be expressed in the form of this, then it is a non-decimal recurring expansion. So students, this was the main theorem which is there in your book, which is there before the exercise starting itself, with the help of which we will be able to understand what kind of rational number is it, whether it is whether the rational number has terminating decimal expansion or non-terminating recurring decimal expansion. So this will be now very easier for us to understand without actually dividing it. Otherwise, if you are unaware of this fact, then what we would have done, we would be generally dividing it, and then it will become a very lengthier process, because just by dividing it, it is very difficult to understand whether it is terminating or non-terminating, because we have to proceed our division and for a longer period of time. You cannot close you cannot end up your divisions at a certain point of time. You have to proceed your divisions for a certain amount of time, then and only then you can come to a conclusion whether it is terminating or non-terminating. So this theorem will help us to understand whether it is terminating or non-terminating recurring just without dividing the decimal, just without dividing the rational number itself. So let's start with this understandings, with this discussion, with this concept. Let us start the exercise 1.4. Let us start the exercise 1.4, students. Here is the question number 1. I am going to solve these 3 different types of questions present in question number 1, which would help you to solve the other questions. Okay, in question number 1, here we need to find whether the rational number, these all are the rational numbers as it is expressed in the form of p by q. We have to find that whether these rational numbers are having terminating decimal expansion or non-terminating repeating decimal expansion without actually dividing it. So how will we find it? Just with the help of the theorem which we discussed before. The theorem itself says that the rational number, if the decimal expansion of the rational number is of the form of 2 to the power n into 5 to the power n, then it has a terminating decimal expansion, else it doesn't have. So we'll just be checking the denominator of these fractions whether can be expressed in the form of 2 to the power n into 5 to the power n or not, and then we'll come to a conclusion. So the first question here is 13 by 3125. So what we'll do here, the denominator here is 3125. We'll just do the prime factorization of 3125. We can apply the method of this 3125 prime factorization will be equals to, it is divisible by 5, so it will be 6 2 5, then 5 1 2 5, again then 5, it will be 25 5 5. That means 3125 can be expressed as 5 to the power 5 into, there is no factor of, it doesn't have any factor 2, but it can be written as 2 to the power 0. So it can be expressed as, it can be expressed as 5 to the power m into 2 to the power n. Therefore, it is terminating decimal, it is not, it has terminating decimal expansion. As I can express this as in the form of this, it has terminating decimal expansion, where m and n are non-negative integers. So non-negative integers can also be 0, and so here it is 0, so it actually satisfies the theorem. So we can say that it has a terminating decimal expansion. Let us move on to our next question. See here, one convenient thing you will be getting here is that the denominator is already expressed in the prime factorization form, so you don't require to do the prime factorization separately, and we see that the denominator is of the form 2 to the power n into 5 to the power m. It is already expressed in the form of 2 to the power n and 5 to the power n. So we can directly conclude that yes, this is also a it has also the terminating decimal expansion, since 2 to the power 3, 5 to the power 2 is expressed as 2 to the power n into 5 to the power m, where n and m are non-negative integers, so it has a terminating decimal expansion. So it's very easy, you can easily understand, see that without dividing, without actually dividing we can understand whether it is terminating or non-terminating. And the last question number 10, that is the Roman numeral question number 10 of question number 1 is 77 by 210. The denominator is 210. Let us do the prime factorization of 210. It will be equals to, it is divisible by 2, so 2 into 105, then 3 into 35, then 5 into 7. So we can express 210 as 2 to the power 1, 3 to the power 1, 5 to the power 1, 7 to the power 1. Here we have the factors 2 and 5, no doubt regarding that, but there are two other factors, which is 3 and 7 as well, which we know that. So we can say that this 210, that means 2 to the power 1, 3 to the power 1, 5 to the power 1 into 7 to the power 1 cannot be expressed only in the form of 2 to the power n into 5 to the power m. So it cannot be expressed as the form of 2 to the power n, 5 to the power n. We have other factors 3 and 7 also. So we conclude that it has a non-terminating repeating decimal expansion. So we conclude that it has a non-terminating repeating decimal expansion. So these were the 3 different questions of question number 1. With the help of this, you can solve the other questions also. Let us move on to our next question. Students, in this question number 2, we just need to write the decimal expansion of all the terminating decimal expansion of question number 1. So in question number 1, I solved 3 questions. Among those 3 questions, these 2 questions were terminating decimal expansion and the last question was non-terminating repeating decimal expansion. So we need to just find the decimal expansion of these 2 questions. So the first is just we need to do the normal division, that's it, to find the decimal expansion. You know this, it is very easy, you can do it very easily. Like it's a normal division. It's not divisible, though I'll take one more 0, though it is not divisible. Again I'll take here one more 0, again it is not divisible, then again 1 0 here, and then now it is divisible by 4. That means 1 2 5 0 0. Then it will be 500. It's though not divisible, 1 0 I'll take here. It will be like 6. So we get the decimal expansion here as 0.00416. This is the decimal expansion of this one. Do the similar way here. Before dividing, we'll just solve the denominator here. It will be 2 cube, that means 8, 5 square means 25, 8 into 25 is 200. Now just divide it. It will be 0.1, 30 will come here. That means the decimal expansion will be 0.115. So this is the true decimal expansion which we can evaluate just by dividing. We can understand whether it has terminating or non-terminating repeating just by looking the denominator, the prime factorization of the denominator. But in order to find the decimal expansion, we need to divide like this. Let us move on to our next question. Okay students, let us come to our last question of the exercise, question number 3. Here we have 3 questions here. We are asked 2 things here. First we have to identify which one is rational and which one is not rational. And the number, if it is rational, then it can be expressed as P by Q form, and in that case we have to write the factors of the Q form. Okay, so the first question is 43.12345678 Here we see that the decimal expansion is terminating as it is ending here. So definitely if it is ending here, if it is terminating, it is a rational number. So we will write here, since the decimal expansion is terminating, it is a rational number. It can be expressed as P by Q, okay, where the decimal expansion of Q is of the form 2 to the power n into 5 to the power m. N and m are non-negative integers. So the denominator, so Q has only 2 factors. Factors which are 2 and 5. So we can see that it is terminating, so it's a rational number and it can be expressed as P by Q form, where the Q has a decimal expansion of the form 2 to the power n into 5 to the power m, where n and m are non-negative integers and Q has only 2 factors, 2 and 5. So this is our complete answer. Similarly, for second question, you can see here that the decimal expansion of this number is non-terminating, and you can see here it's non-repeating also. So it is neither terminating nor it is non-terminating repeating. It's actually non-terminating, non-repeating. Since it is non-terminating, non-repeating, it is irrational number. It is not a rational number, it is irrational number. In this case, we don't have to judge anything about the factors of q. Okay, the last question you can see here that there is a bar sign above the decimal, all the decimal numbers. That means this concludes that this is a non-terminating decimal expansion. So we can write here that since it is non-terminating repeating decimal expansion, it is a rational number which can be expressed as P by Q, where Q cannot be expressed as Q cannot be expressed as 2 to the power n, 5 to the power m. N and m are non-negative integers. So Q has factors 2 and 5 or any other factors other than 2 or 5. So this is our answer here. This means that this decimal expansion is non-terminating, repeating. That means we know that non-terminating, repeating decimal expansions are rational number. So we come to the conclusion that it is a rational number. Now, if it is a rational number, we can express it as P by Q form. So yes, we can express. But if what we conclude regarding this Q, we conclude that Q cannot be expressed as 2 to the power n and 5 to the power n. Why it cannot be expressed? Because it is a non-terminating recurring decimal expansion. So it cannot be expressed in this form. And thus, if it cannot be expressed in this form, that means that Q has factors 2 or 5 or other number. It has 2 or 5, not or, I should write here 2 and 5, 2 and 5, 2 comma 5 and other, or it doesn't have any other, it does not have any factor like 2 or 5, it has some other factor. So this is our complete answer. It has 2, 5 or other factor as well, or we can say that it has the factors other than 2 and 5. So this was the solution which we were asked for to determine whether it is rational or irrational, and as well as to determine the factors of Q in the case if the decimal expansion is rational. So students, this was the solution of the exercise we went through, and we discussed all the different topics which are there in your syllabus as well as in your book with elaborate discussions. And I hope that you have all understood it very nicely. And the remaining questions which I have not done here in the board, but the concept is already given to you and you can solve it very easily, will be the homework for you, which will appear in the next slide itself. So the students, with the hope that you have all understood this, and this was the last explanation video of the chapter, I end up my video here. Thank you.